I'm Kevin Casey. I'm a professional mixed martial arts fighter. And right now what I'm about to do is issue a warning out to all other competitors.
I don't want overs. I just expect them to happen.
Fatty's gonna fatty is real.
He is terrible!
Smacking dudes with his 18-inch meat stick.
I'm going to go quick because I don't give a fuck about anything that's going to happen on Saturday.
Welcome back to this week's edition of the MMA Analysis podcast. Guys, it's 2018. We haven't lost a consensus bet yet.
You just changed the fuck out of it, Jay.
That's right. And we're going to keep winning. That's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to keep talking about it. We're doing the opposite of what we're supposed to do. I like it. I like it a lot.
We're already spending the money. We'll see y'all in Vegas in October. It's all right.
Exactly. You can hear the guys. We got the Sodsman. We got the Canadian Teenager, which I think should just be like another nickname for a mullet at this point, because it just seems like Canadian Teenager would be a mullet name. Here we are.
They call that the trailer park boy up in those parts.
Oh, there it is. There it is. Yeah. Not a whole shit ton going on in the MMA sphere this week. There was a fight card last week. We'll go through that first. Is there anything MMA particular you guys want to touch on? I know there was some bullshit video of Floyd in a cage.
Let's just not.
Oh, let's not go there. Let's talk about real MMA. I know we got into a discussion last week, but they did announce that DC and Stipe will fight. I think we talked about that a little bit last week. They're going to coach Tough as well. I don't know how much people get into Tough anymore, but I think it might be a decent season with those two dudes. But yeah,
you know what's really cool about the Tough season? I saw just a little bit on each of the guys. So what they're doing with the season is all the fighters are undefeated.
Yeah, undefeated guys. Yeah, pretty good.
That is pretty cool. I do recognize some of the names from some of the promotions. There certainly is some talent. I mean, yeah, some guys are 3-0 and, I won't go anywhere, but it's kind of neat to actually see guys face, guys that are actually going to have to go through things and never having lost before. I think that has its own layer. And, the coaches are interesting enough because I think just the fight itself is extremely compelling from a competitive standpoint. Never mind the outside the thing, the outside the thing, and I guess some of that will play out on the Tough season. I don't know if there will be any. It might be kind of friendly. I don't think I see it being very in the face, but it's kind of like one of those kind of like unspoken, like I respect you, you respect me. Like when we get in the cage, it's gonna be a fight. And I'm cool with that because I think in terms of a title fight, it's one of the most compelling bouts that the UFC has had the opportunity to put on because, quite frankly, I don't think there's a super clear winner. Fairly competitive, and there's people on both sides that have their thing. So, very good fight on paper and deserving that main event slot on that big July card. What do you guys think?
You can go, Wes.
Yeah. I think it's actually pretty cool. There wasn't. I don't think there was a whole lot you could do in those two divisions now at present time. I mean, you could run Stipe against, I guess, maybe Kane or Reem, who really wants to see those. And if Kane wins, he's holding the belt. Hurt probably again, but the way DC's talking, if he wins, he's going to vacate and probably retire. So I guess that would set up maybe a little kind of tourney elimination type thing for the belt, but that's down the road. I think it's an excellent fight, man. Two of the better guys and probably the two best guys and the bigger weights, man, for sure. I've seen a lot of people that like Stipe in this fight. I can't blame them. I think DC's the far better fighter myself. And I don't think the size difference is going to be as big a factor as a lot of people are saying. That's why they're picking Stipe. I can never get out of my mind DC Helicopter and fucking Josh Barnett. Like, nobody give DC problems with their size. So great fight. Look forward to it. Just the only problem though, there's a tiny problem. That's just, man, all these belts gonna be just. I know they don't mean what they used to mean, but man, to have, if DC wins and vacates, 2 titles, they're talking about doing TJ and DJ. I mean, that's going to be 2 more titles.
They're doing Cyborg and
yeah,
that fight. They're trying to book 3 super fights that card, which is very short sighted. So
6 titles being controlled by 2 guys, and one guy's probably going to give up 2 titles. It's just, I don't know how good that is for forget sport wise, just entertainment wise. I don't know what you're going to do down the road. So that is a small problem with it, but it's a great fight. It ain't like I don't want to see it. I know years past they talk so much about super fights and stuff like that, and everybody wanted to see them, and we never got them. Now they're trying to give them to us, and people's getting mad. So it's hard to please, but I look forward to it. Going to be a great fight. And yeah, with Tough, I agree, Jay. It undefeated guys. One of the seasons I enjoyed the most of Tough recently was the title season where they had all champs on there. Yeah, that was a legit season of Tough, to where if you watched it for fights, you got absolutely amazing fights the entire season against guys. Half the roster on that season is in the UFC now. So that's the last one I really enjoyed. I think this one could be good too, because you're going to have guys on there with some talent. So yeah, should be good.
New Sean.
Yeah, it's kind of the same thoughts with Wes. With neither guy really having too much of a legit contender to fight against, especially Stipe. I mean, I guess you could do the rematch with Cormier with Gus. That's about the only other fight that I can sort of get behind for light heavyweight, but there's really nothing at heavyweight. We got to make sure Kane can actually still fight, which doesn't seem like he's even close to being ready to get back in the cage. So I won't shit on this super fight as much as I would shit on other super fights, just because there's legit no real contenders in both of the 2 probably most terrible divisions in the UFC. It's gonna be a good fight. I do worry about DC's chin. I think he's the better fighter, but we have seen his chin cracked recently. I mean, obviously Volkan didn't get it, but he did get dropped and smashed pretty bad against Jones. He did get dropped by Gus, so Stipe definitely has some power, so that would be a little worrisome. But yeah, he's done pretty awesome things at heavyweight before, so DC should be right in that fight. As for Tough, it's probably going to be a pretty boring. Outside of the fights, it'll probably be a pretty boring season. But if just fast forward that shit and watch the fights, because it's just gonna be a bunch of undefeated, hopefully good fighters in it. So yeah,
I like what I read on Twitter where like people's like they better get a fucking translator and for Stipe and get they're gonna have to type his fucking shit out on the bottom of the screen. That's probably a good idea.
Yeah, it's bad when. Yeah, that's kind of all I got for that fight.
Yeah, pretty good. Should be interesting.
And on the plus side, it's going to be the second last Tough, hopefully ever.
Yeah.
Why do you say second to last?
Because they got one more season left after this.
Oh, and then the deal's done?
And then the deal's up, and maybe we can kill this thing and do something else.
Yeah,
we should get the Contender Series back in the summertime. It'd be nice if they just said, "Okay, we'll just do this. We don't need the other thing."
Fox signing that Thursday night NFL deal.
That's one
that ain't
interesting. I don't know how much that might impact Fox's bid on the UFC shelling out.
That costs UFC some money. Yeah, that costs UFC some money. Wherever they sign and how long and for whatever money, that costs them a little money.
Yeah. I'm honestly not sure.
That took away a bargaining chip.
It's $660 million that Fox is putting out there. So
yeah, Fox isn't paying today for the UFC, but they were paying yesterday. That's for goddamn sure. Not after dropping $600 million on Thursday night NFL. But we'll see. Wonder where they're at next year. I don't know if they'll be at Fox next year.
I don't know.
I have no idea. You have to think they're the favorites.
Yeah, definitely. You would want to just keep everything in line and go on, but I don't know. We'll see. Yeah, it's weird. It's weird because you watch the UFC on Fox, ratings drop, and it's like people
talk other sport though.
But people talk so much shit about Bellator, and Bellator's kind of had steady ratings on Spike for years now. You know what I'm saying? They don't get too high, they don't get too low, but they got that core audience, and it's always 600,000-700,000 people watching Bellator on Friday nights. UFC can't pull some of that shit on Fox Saturday nights in primetime anymore. It's crazy.
Yeah, part of it's the channel, for sure. Otherwise, I'm sure, Bellator will be raving about they get better ratings or something like UFC does.
I don't get how Fox Sports 1 is not in more houses. Like, I understand at the start when it first came out, they were, bargaining to see like who's going to pick it up and stuff like that. But how long's Fox Sports 1 been around for now? Like,
it's one of those. It's a channel that's in a sports package thing though. When you order a cable, so like you get Spike and ESPN, but FS1 is it's like in the extra sports package in most people.
But you got to understand where Fox is on the dial. Like for me, I have BET,
ESPN,
TV2, Fox Sports 1, Animal Planet, and okay, that's where it is. Fox Sports 2. I mean, that's in regular cable. Like if you go to the HD, and then all the sports channels are kind of around each other. That's a little different, but I don't know I don't know how people do it, but if you're scrolling through, I don't usually go to the HD specific channels. I mean, I guess most TVs are HD and they just kind of do it anyway, but that's that. And if you go to ESPN, let's just do
mine
that.
Are right by my HD and standard are right next to each other. And then my sports channels is ESPN is 140, then the ESPN channels is 140, 141, 142, 143. Then you hit CBS Sports Network at 158. Then you hit NBC Sports Network at 159. Or Fox Sports is 150. So it's right in between.
So it's there for yours.
Yeah. It's all in the same. But for me, FS1 is in this other sports package.
Right, so this other plays.
And so it's BN's in there and FS1 is in there.
Yeah, the non-traditional
premium.
You're not scrolling to find it. Like for me, I have ESPN2's one channel, then ESPN's the next channel, then you have TNT, USA,
TBS, yours is mixed up.
FX, and then you have the Paramount channel. So that's where Bellator is. So you have FX, Paramount, I don't know what the channel this is, AMC, and then Bravo. So it's mixed into the entertainment. Spike's in the entertainment channels.
Yeah, which makes sense.
That's why it gets higher ratings because there's that big bucket of people that just FX, Spike or / Paramount, AMC, just go to those channels. It's the entertainment bundle, and ESPN's so close to that. And I mean, ESPN's been around forever. I mean, most red-blooded people kind of
know what the hell that is.
No, that's like a starting point for cable, and then you kind of go from there. Yeah. Fox was kind of set up after, and then it's in a different place, unless it's all bundled into the sports tier. There's that, but there are others that have where I am. Okay, now you're scrolling. If you're just scrolling, because a lot of people just scroll, they look through the thing and they go, and they don't get to that point.
Yeah.
Right. So I would say that's part of the issue. And then Fox Sports 2 is Fox Sports 2 is a whole different animal.
I think another thing too is Bellator can give you what they give you, and people just expect that, hey, it's Bellator, it's Friday night, I'm going to check it out. The UFC is the UFC, and when you're giving people bullshit cards like they did Saturday night, that turns people off because they look at it different than Bellator. You know what I'm saying?
Hold it to a higher standard.
They hold it to a much higher standard. So you're going to watch the shitty Bellator cards but you won't watch shitty UFC cards because you feel like you see it on Twitter all the time. You see the same guys all the time doing that, like hyping up a Bellator card, but like, I ain't paying for this UFC. It's shitty. How do you expect me to watch this? But the night before, they're like, man, are y'all watching y'all watching Cops on this lead into Bellator? Like the same guys every week do that. Oh, y'all, the dude that does his little price guide, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The same guy every week will hype up a Patricky Pitbull fighting some jobber on Bellator, but the next night would be like, I got a life. What do you expect me? I don't get paid to write about this shit. You do get paid to write about it, but will refuse to watch it knowing he's watching that motherfucker. He's just, but it's the same guys, man. But I get that.
No, FS2 isn't HD either, I believe.
I got it in HD, but
not
everybody doesn't have it.
I don't think I have it available in HD.
Yeah, some people don't. Yeah, some people don't even get the option. I didn't have it in HD for like a year after it came out or something, like a year and a half, and finally they did it.
And I never usually one to complain about the HD, non-HD, but that channel in particular really stands out.
I cut it.
It really does, man. It really does.
FS2. If something's on FS2 I want to watch now, I just stream it.
And the viewership is, like, you see the ratings on FS2, they're terrible. Like, first of all, it's not a ton of houses, and then I guess the quality, and you like imagine it's really not available. You have to go in. It's not available. I can't access FS2 in the standard numbers. It's like 217 for me or something. Like you have to go. You really have to go find it.
A good look at how, if you want to look at like compare like just a little sports program on like ESPN to Fox Sports, like First Take with Stephen A. and Skip. Like Richard Deitch, the dude on Twitter for
I know he does that bullshit all the time.
But like Skip and Stephen A., they were doing like over 2 million viewers every morning, and that show still does like 2 million viewers. Skip's show on FS1 barely does 100,000. It's the same. It's the same guy.
Million, I think. It's not 2 million.
Yeah,
but when Skip
and Stephen A. were doing it, they were getting like 2 million views a morning, and they still do like 1.2 or something like that. Stephen A. and Max does, but Skip does like 150,000. You know what I'm saying? That's
I might have some MMA news to share. Let me take a look. I'm reading an article right now. Hold on a second. I might have some news to share. Oh, look at that.
Get on Twitter, Jay. Breaking news.
You're gonna
make sure you give props to whoever you're.
This is from MMA Today, from MMA Kings. It's there's some new locations for some UFC bouts. So, reading through here, there's Rio de Janeiro, of course, is getting a pay-per-view card in May 12th. It sounds like they're going to be doing the Cyborg versus Amanda Nunes fight at that point in time.
Yeah, because they got nothing else to put on that. Because there's what other Brazilian star you got?
Goddamn Cyborg going to come and piss and echo.
Get this. 1 week later, the UFC is looking to do a Fight Night card in Chile, in Santiago.
Wow.
The first ever UFC event in South America that's not in Brazil.
Yeah, it'd be the furthest south they've been, ain't it?
Yep.
I'm not sure which Brazil. I'd have to look at where they've had their events in terms of the South. But
that one UFC event that was way down in the jungle somewhere where it was hot as fuck and shit. Remember that?
Well, that's Amazon in Manaus where Aldo.
Yeah, it was way down there somewhere.
And then they're going to be going to Denmark a week after that. I think Copenhagen. And then, that one's in July. They're also doing a European event in May. So there's going to be it looks like July in Denmark, and then another European location in May. I'm going to guess it's going to be Germany. It sounds like something they usually do around that time of the year. So, yeah, Brazil, Chile, maybe Germany and Denmark. if you're looking to travel a little bit, there's some interesting locations for some events. I'm not really sure the Chile thing is going to take off. I think Argentina would have been like a better place to kind of foray into MMA.
Boat on it.
Yeah,
I thought
you
they were
could have
talking
put
about that.
you could have put Ponzi on that for sure. Yeah,
Yeah, that would have been pretty awesome. And a fantastic city, Buenos Aires, to do that. But I'd be curious to see how it goes. And
so they're gonna let Cyborg fight down there in Brazil, man. she gonna be like a fucking robot, dripping shit out of every pore, dude.
Oh yeah,
damn, she gonna murder fucking Nunez. They want Nunez murdered. Oh, Nunez, guess where you're gonna fight Cyborg at? Down in Brazil.
well, they definitely don't like that whole thing from last summer. I mean, I don't blame them either.
Now you can't pull out of title fights with. I don't know.
With what?
Nobody knows what.
Are we talking about with sinus problem? I mean,
nobody knows how bad that shit is. I've read some places where you could literally be like blurry eyed and shit, and not be able to see right with it. But who knows? Dude? You can't. It's hard to pull out of a title fight with some sinus shit and not have people just completely murder you for it.
Completely agree.
Yeah.
Anyway, we spent a good amount of time talking about the TV packages and whatnot. Figured, a little bit different for us. So let's quickly jump into last week's card. Some good fights, some bad fights.
Some terrible fucking judging.
Scoring, yeah.
Yeah,
Jesus Christ.
Yes. We'll touch on some of those. But to start, the Fight Pass portion of the card, Corey Sandhagen debuted against Austin Arnett. Really good debut from Sandhagen. TKO in the second round of Arnett, just landed a bunch of body shots. That guy probably was pissing, blood red, for a few days after that. It was pretty vicious. Nico Price took advantage of George Sullivan. I believe that was, a max bet for some of us. Second round submission victory. Up to the TV card, first decision that had some question marks. Some agreed, some didn't agree. Not as egregious as some other fights, but could definitely make a case that Joaquim Silva beat Mr. Vink, Pichel.
The pickle man.
Sorry, the pickle man got all three judges to give it 29-28. I don't know how that happened. I got to be honest. That seemed like a surefire split decision.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then another one you have to question for sure.
Man.
Ji Yoon Kim beats Justine Kish. Split decision, 29-28, 28-29. And then in the good old
30-27. That is brutal.
As bad as it's ever been.
Another one where it looked like 2 rounds were pretty clear to opposing fighters, and then there was a third round that was like fairly questionable. And then there's a 30-27. You got to wonder sometimes. Randa Marcos, and then the second of 3 women's fights in a row. God help us all.
Went over.
Randa Marcos. I got to tell you, Randa Marcos just beat up Juliana Lima, and this was a terrible performance by Lima, who's been competitive and against much better fighters.
Getting old.
She was like on another planet in this fight. I lost a bet on this one. Yucky. Wasn't happy about that, but good night overall, so it kind of outweighs that, and you don't feel as bad. Final women's fight of the night, we'll call it the women's main event. Oh my god. Caitlin, the Jersey girl Chukagian, beat Mara Romero Barella 29-28, 29-28, 30-27. I don't know how a 30-20. I really thought that they're going to give this fight to Barella, to be honest with you. Just kind of the way it was playing out, because Chukagian was like literally punching air. I think she threw like 3 times as many punches, but like landed like less punches overall. It was like something bizarre like that. She was just throwing at the air and somehow got the result. Okay. Moving on to, which if you want to call it, we can kind of call this like a 6-fight main card, even though 2 of them were on Fox Sports 1, but it felt like a 6-fight main card after those fairly poor preliminary bouts. And it started off pretty strong. I'll get each of these guys to talk about these fights. Mirsad Bektic basically punched Godofredo Pepe in the heart and just set him to the
put a hole in his
first
fucking
round.
body.
We'll start with Nushan. Am I saying that right? He punched him in the heart and he fell down, didn't he?
Yeah, he crumpled. That was that
He
was
broke
a
his
weird
heart.
one. It was
His
just
heart.
like he was Mr. Magma was just overextending, and Bektik just planted one on his liver, I guess, and just what happened was exactly what we thought was going to happen. Bektik hit him, and he quit. We all thought that was going to happen. Didn't know it was going to happen exactly like that. Maybe we thought it was a bit of ground and pound, but I mean that was an easy one. Inside the distance, fucking handicap, straight, all of it, beautiful.
Wes?
Yeah, it's nice when you get those. You get the trifecta, the money line, the points, and the inside the distance. Yeah, we said it, man. Pepe out of Brazil, and then that dude is he's a quitter, man. Any kind of going gets tough at all. That was some nasty shit though, man. The Bektik's for real, dude. It still blows my mind that Elkins beat that dude, man. But it shows you how fucking tough Elkins is, really. But
Bektik's very lucky.
Yeah,
really hard
absolutely.
not to bet against Elkins.
I don't think Bektik gas in a fight like that again. I think he absolutely learned from that.
Yep.
And the dude's real. He's the really real. He's real good.
And that was our 5 EU consensus winner.
We rolling.
That was pretty cool. We rolling, exactly. Next fight up. This was actually a really good bout, and definitely some strategy played itself out in this bout, and I think that's why the guy who won the fight. Bobby Green, decision victory over Eric Koch. Really compelling bout. Kind of each round, kind of told a different story, which was, it was kind of like one of those bouts that felt longer than 15 minutes. Just by the, kind of how many turns there were in this bout and how it ultimately played out. It wasn't, just one-way traffic. It, like I said, it had different stories. And I really think it was a really good performance from Bobby Green. Just kind of the way he forced Koch to work in the second round, scored a takedown even, worked in some ground and pound. It was just a really smart performance from him.
Which is shocking.
It was usually, shocking and usually yapping a lot on the feet. But this was good. I'm not sure who he's asking for after the bout. I mean, I'm not sure he wants to go there, but good performance. And I think he's, looking for, like a main card kind of a bout coming up because crowd loved him. And, his fighting style is certainly entertaining enough when he wants to be. Nushan.
Yeah, it was a fun fight, a little bit back and forth, and Bobby Green didn't do anything too stupid, so he won. I thought he was the better fighter. I just couldn't put my money on him just because of the fight IQ he's kind of showed in the past. But props to whoever did, and there you go.
Yo, that's me.
Wes, you took Bobby Green too, didn't you?
Yeah. I bet him. I thought he was absolutely the better fighter in this fight, but yeah, like you said, you never know. But I got to give it to him. It was probably his most complete like mental fight IQ performance I've ever seen from Bobby Green. But can we talk about how Eric Koch has gone from looking like powder to looking like a dude working in a surf shop in Santa Monica? Like
he was like that good who's that really tan dude? Not Keith Hamilton, is it? Who's that Hollywood dude who's like super? Who's like Hulk Hogan? Who's like Hulk Hogan tan?
And his name's Keith something Hamilton.
I think it's Keith Hamilton.
something Hamilton. Yeah, I know who you're talking about. Yeah, he did. He went from like looking like a straight up powder to fucking like, hey, you want to buy some trucks for your board? We're gonna go hit the fucking skate park.
George Hamilton.
Yeah, George Hamilton. Yeah.
Oh man, he is tan.
That's good stuff.
Sean?
I already said my piece. We're good to go.
All right.
Holy fuck, that guy is tan. Holy shit.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Fight of the night came up. The undersized Drew Dober beating up, gassed up Frank Camacho later in the bout to get the win. Don't get the 30-27 again, but this is how the judges were on this night.
What's Jay like to say? He's running on E, and there's not a gas station in sight.
Yeah.
Oh, nothing. No gas stations. Nushan.
Camacho's got a hell of a chin, man. Dober fucking handed him a pretty good beating.
The crazy part is, I think Camacho's had fight of the night. All three of his UFC bouts.
He has.
Is that a record? First three?
First three. I would have to assume first three is pretty crazy. He's always in fun fights. I mean, usually he seems to be taking a beating, and he sure as hell can take a hell of a one. Because Dober planted a bunch right on his face and chin, and he did not go down. Sucks to be anybody that had the inside. The fight doesn't go the distance because it was looking good and Dober was smashing, but Camacho would not go down.
Nope. Wes?
Yeah. Camacho actually looked pretty good in the first, man, but then he just he hit a brick wall, dude. And I think Dober just, being the smaller guy in this fight and stuff, he just took his time and his gas held up, man. But Camacho's got a legit chin, dude. He's a fun guy. They'll keep him around. He can lose fights as long as he's losing like that. I'm totally fine with it. Dober going back down though, man. He's getting pretty good, man. He's a tough, smart fighter, man. I like his game. I'm kind of intrigued to see him go back down a little bit and see who they give him next time because I think the dude's improving a lot.
Yeah, I would agree with that as well. I think Dober's footwork is really underrated. Like he's actually quite quick on the feet, kind of jumps in and out. He's got a bit of gamesmanship about him. Mentally he's not a dummy in the cage. He knows how to force opponents to work, tire them out. That's kind of what he did against Camacho. I agree with Wes. I think he's, from what he first started as, I'm trying to remember. I mean, just kind of looking back at Dober's career now, gotta look. He's 29 years old at this point. He's fought how many times in the UFC now?
A lot. A lot. This was his
10th UFC bout.
Used to be no better than like a poor man's Rick Story type fighter, and he's like so much more skilled than that.
He
now.
debuted against Sean Spencer, and at welterweight, and he was just out. Like he was just he had no options because he was so small. Then he moved down, lost to Nick Hine, and then he was in a must-win bout against Jamie Varner, and he knocked him out, or he subbed him. He hurt him bad, and then he subbed him. Then he had that weird bout with Leandro Silva. Remember when he usually got subbed, but he never tapped?
Yeah,
that was a good one. Then he lost to Efrain Escudero, and then from there it's been all kind of good. He beat Scott Holtzman. He KO'd Jason Gonzalez. Got subbed by Ohm, who's again a big size difference, even in that lightweight class. Then KO's Berkman, and he's got the decision win over Camacho. So he's won 4 of his past 5 bouts. He's kind of found his own. So definitely one of those guys for me who's really exceeded expectations. Yeah. Next bout up, man, this was a mauling.
Gregor the God.
Grigor Gillespie against Jordan Rinaldi. I think Gillespie was the highest favored fighter on this card, and I think he was minus 575, minus 600.
Yep.
Yeah.
It should have been 1,000. I mean, who are we kidding here? This fight was not close on paper, and it was not close in result. He doesn't even need to strike on the feet, but he does because he thinks it's fun. And then once he takes guys to the ground, he's about as good as there is in the sport at getting full mount.
And maintaining it too, being able to roll and hold them there too.
Yeah, the way he slides up at some dude, the way he slides up from from position he starts with on the ground to get into mount is elite. Almost like Luke Rockhold-esque in that regard. It's actually very similar. And then the way he just beat up Ronaldo was pretty vicious. Nushan.
Yeah, I gave Rinaldi little to no chance in this fight. And that's kind of what it looked like. Just domination on the ground. Another one where you hit the points handicap inside this and it's money line trifecta. And he's good and he needs to step up. I don't know what the hell. I guess the hometown fighter, that's what we kind of figured. But he's going to need.
Is he ranked yet? We have to look it up.
Do
I want to get angry?
I doubt it.
I'm gonna look it up.
Lightweight's
I'm gonna look it up. He's not going to be ranked, and he should be. Wes, you talk while I look that up.
Yeah, man. I know Rinaldi wanted to fight at home and everything, but that was
not against that guy.
That was a really, really dumb decision, man. And I don't want to talk about, people making.
He's not ranked. Oh, no. What are we doing?
Yeah. You don't want to talk too much about people making those decisions for him and shit, because I'm sure he's got a lot to do with. And I do, full disclosure, I do play fantasy football with his brother and have for quite a few years. But man, you got to talk some sense into somebody. You know what I'm saying? That's just I know you want to fight at home, but that's a bad fight to take. I mean, we talked about on the show, like, Rinaldi's a pretty decent wrestler. That's kind of how he wins. And he's fighting like elite of the elite. You know what I'm saying? Like, he had no path to victory here, man. And man, Gregor's for real. That dude is legit. And like y'all said, he's got to get a step up. We got to see, just how good this guy is, because I think he is that good, man. Like Jay said, that top game, that sliding up, moving in the mount. Yeah, there's few fighters that do it that good. Luke Rockhold and a few others, but yeah, that's some top of the food chain type shit right there.
All right, I'll ask both of you guys this question. A year and I'll say July 2019. Who will be the higher ranked fighter within their weight class? Bektic or Gillespie?
Nah, it's hard to say. You don't know how they're gonna work a guy.
I think lightweight is older than featherweight, so I kind
of
give the
That's
edge
correct.
to Gillespie.
Even though Bektic is currently ranked 12th in his weight class, but Gillespie is not. So keep that in mind.
I don't know. I mean, there's some definitely people that he can pass. Bektic. He could be top 5.
Sorry.
Well, Zombie's going to be out of the rankings at some point because he's not going to be able to fight. So
also, I think you got to take into account that who Gillespie trains with and knows, and those guys are very connected to the UFC and stuff. So that could play a part in him getting bigger fights, moving up quicker. Man, just
that top 8 though is tough in lightweight. I think Bektic.
Wait, at top 8. You talking about Nate Diaz?
Well, no. Okay, fine. Top
he ain't
7.
Fighting.
Top 7. You happy?
He's retired.
Top 7. But
fine.
I think Bektic can get to like 6. Easy. 5.
You mean at featherweight?
Yeah. So I might have flip-flopped. I'm a flip-flopper.
Well, he already lost to Elkin, so it'd be hard to pass him, right?
Not really. If they rematch, I would bet the shit out of Bektic.
They ain't gonna rematch.
No.
I mean, the Zombie thing will probably be out. I mean, Lamas, I think, is on the way down.
Yep.
Stevens could go up a little bit.
Swanson might not be fighting for the UFC anymore.
And Emmett could take a huge plummet if he loses to Stevens when they fight. One of them's going to go down significantly.
Yep.
So I think Bektic could go up. I think I'm going to say Bektic just because of opportunity.
Yeah, I kind of lean that way as well.
But we haven't really seen Gillespie against somebody, good yet. We will at some point because it has to happen. But I think it's going to be a case like Usman where no one's going to want to fight him.
Yeah, and that could stall out in his years pretty quickly.
He's going to become the second most dominant grappler in that division pretty fast. I mean, Kevin Lee is a pretty dominant grappler, but he doesn't hurt people like this dude does.
Yeah.
And then, never mind, the other dude. You don't need to talk. That doesn't need to be talked about.
No, we don't need to talk about him, Jay.
It's fine. Co-main event, another split decision, another questionable one. Man, I'll ask you guys, who won this fight? Andre Fili wins a decision over Dennis Bermudez split 29-28, 27-30, 29-28. Sean, who won this fight?
I wasn't watching too closely. I didn't think this was an amazing fight. What I did watch, it looked like Bermudez edged it likely 29-28, but I don't know.
Yeah, I was I was really biased because I bet Feely, and I thought it was really close.
You know Bermudez is out of the rankings?
What was he?
He's been taken.
Yeah.
I just saw that now. How interesting is that?
I guess he was 15?
Or 14.
Well,
No, he had to be.
Yeah,
he had to be
15.
Yeah, he had to be. Well, they said
no,
move
Bektic
down
was 15.
3 spot. Bektic was 15 and moved. He must have been,
Yeah,
He lost two in a row going into that fight against Feely.
I think he was.
so
12.
where was?
I think he was 12.
And then he fell out of the rankings completely.
Yeah, he went from 12.
So Bektic was 15, and then he went from 12 to out.
Yep.
Yeah. I kind of like Calvin Cotter in the rankings, though. I think that's fair. At this point, you knock out Shane Burgos, you earn my respect. So
Yeah.
anyway, you're right. It wasn't that great of a fight. Wes, who won this one?
Yeah, like I was saying, I'm a little biased because I bet Feely in that fight. So I mean, it was close. There was a couple rounds that were really close if you look at the punch stats, but I don't know. Who knows, man? 30-27 is bad. Another bad scorecard. I'll just say that.
Yeah, this was not a night for the judges. It really wasn't.
Nah.
It's got to get better at some point, doesn't it?
Nope.
I don't.
I mean, is
no,
there
no.
an answer?
They're getting worse. They're getting worse.
I mean, they brought in a new guy, and he's the guy that had the 2 30-27s.
Yep. The refs are getting worse. The judges are getting worse. The fighter in the sport is like moving at a breakneck pace, improving, and the judging and the reffing is going backwards. It's insane.
I don't know what we're doing here.
I said Saturday night or whenever, I was like, I can name 20 people on Twitter right now that could judge fights way better than anybody they pay and would get fights right 90% of the time. 90% of the time, I can name 20 people on Twitter that would score a fight right.
Or closer to right.
Oh, absolutely.
Better.
That's why I said 90%.
Better.
You're going to get some bad scorecards. There's just close. There's close fights. You know, people are going to see a little different. But
And I also got to say that the announcing on Saturday's card was poor too. There was definitely some one-sided announcing in that, which I thought
it always is with.
Man, it's ugly sometimes with Dom.
I thought Dom started good. Man, he's trash, dude.
He's way better in the studio.
Yep. Keep him in the studio. Let him go back and forth with Bisping. That's where those two belong. They're good studio guys. You're exactly right.
Or let him go through the tape or whatever they want to do, noticing technical aspects. That's where he's really his best. I think Paul Felder is way better than him in color commentary.
Yeah, he's already probably gone to the top. It's how I kind of felt
Jimmy
about.
Smith's going to be around, so
Yeah, so
Jimmy
that's a
Smith's
bonus.
doing
That'll push some people out.
the Australia pay-per-view.
Yeah, I like Jimmy too. I think he's going to do a lot better in UFC because he had a lot of biased commentary in Bellator to guys he really liked. I don't think he's going to have that problem as much in UFC. Kind of more fresh, you know.
But at least he's entertaining and understands things, you know.
Yeah.
And his
Can't
voice
score a fight for shit.
Doesn't need to though.
He's worse than any judge that they got out there.
What do you guys think of this scenario? I think the UFC is going to permanently go to a 3-man commentary booth.
I don't like 3-man myself.
I have a feeling that's where they're going with this.
I don't like it because I actually like Anik. I know a lot of people don't, and when there's 3-man booth, he gets drowned out.
I think Anik's really good. I don't know why people don't like it. I guess because he just ain't like. He's not Goldie going crazy and shit. You know what I'm saying? But I think Anik's really good. But you're right. When they do like Rogan and DC or Rogan and Dom,
you
don't hear Anik at all. And that's terrible.
You usually hear it at the beginning of the fight, and that's about it.
That's about it, yeah.
When the walkouts, what they're doing, yeah.
And then you got like Rogan and Dom out there now that are trying to like almost one-up each other when it comes to shit like, especially when it gets to the mat, like you can almost hear them going back and forth trying to like, well, no, it's like this dude, and they'll be fucking having a discussion with themselves over calling what's actually going on in the fight. It's not good. When Rogan
my issue with Rogan, the whole thing on the mat is, I think he thinks he's a better expert at the mat games than he is.
He knows his shit, but
there's other guys that are better than him at that, and they know more.
He also thinks everything's tight, and it's
I'm tired of that. They think everybody's capable of knowing how to latch on that submission.
Felder has got. I'd like to mix and match some of a lot of these, like DC's got some good. Some of his technical shit is really good, but I can't stand all the other shit.
Especially anything wrestling related, like he knows.
Absolutely.
He knows where you have to grab, look for the underhook, blah, blah, blah.
Even striking.
He's a great job at that. Great job at that.
Footwork and setting up traps and shit like that. He's said some really good stuff on striking too. Dom does as well. Dom's striking breakdowns are great. A lot of Rogan shit on the mat, but man, there's other shit that is just. Felder seems to be really good. I miss Stan. I think Stan was all that shit in one. That dude knew his shit. He knew how to call a fight too. He knew how. A really underrated thing about Stan too is he knew when to let a fight breathe, when to not say nothing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's true.
That's the problem with Rogan and Dom and DC. They don't know when to shut the fuck up for 2 seconds and let a fight just breathe for a minute. You know?
Yeah, I agree. That's definitely an issue. Stan wasn't certainly as technical in terms of his knowledge or just student of, if you want to call it a student of the game in that way. But just in terms of just announcing ability, I just think he was better than the other guys. That's just it.
Felder
boys ability, yeah. Yeah, let's see. It's early for him, but I agree. He's certainly been better. You know what? And I'll even go to studio a little bit. I actually like Woodley in the studio.
Yeah, I do too.
But we'll see where the studio thing goes, though. They seem to be trying out so many guys, though. I don't know what the strat. I mean, are they just not satisfied, or they just think it's like a cool thing to let these guys?
Yeah, I think it's that.
A way to promote them, maybe. I don't know what it is.
I think promote, contract shit too. Yep, give them extra cash. I think guys that have been involved with the UFC for a long time too, like say Yves Edwards. I think it's just like Dana loves that guy. You know what I'm saying? So
I'm like, he's charismatic. Like, yeah.
That's probably one of my favorite guys in the studio is Yves. That dude knows what the fuck he's talking about.
Remember when he got in that whole bit with what's his name? Tony Ferguson? I don't remember. Yeah. That was good stuff. All right, main event. Man. Derek Brunson loves to kill. He loves to kill or be killed. That's really his MO. He's very good at both.
He likes to give Wes memes is what he likes to do.
Yep. Jacare, head kick, then clear behind the head punch.
No, come on.
Dude.
Talks about nobody wants to suggest.
It was right.
It was right.
It was right behind the ear. Yeah, it was right behind the ear. I watched it 100 times.
I don't know about that.
It didn't matter anyway.
It didn't matter. It didn't really matter, but yeah. Jacare, first round knockout of Derek Brunson, who once again shits the bed in a big fight.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of figured this might happen. I just had the inside the distance on this fight. I was worried about Jacare's chin, but yeah, I mean, Jacare, pulled back the clock one more time. He landed that head kick, wasn't even clean, but it was clean enough, and then Brunson decided to do some dancing.
Clean enough.
The smooth criminal.
Shit, yeah. It's good. I like this because I like Jacare. I want to see him get one more big fight, and so yeah, I guess Brunson's just maybe one of those guys that can crush the top 10 guys, and then when he tries to take a bigger step, he gets knocked out.
Wes?
Yeah, it's like, man, do you not learn though? Like, he's really, really good, and he does so many things well, but it's like something switches in his head, and the dude just starts running face first across the fucking cage every time, dude. It's insane, man. Yeah, I thought that would go into a takedown and him getting subbed, but that head kick was, man, that was legit.
Brunson's takedown defense right before he got knocked out was, I mean, it's proved to be
100%.
what it is. He had the whizzer and didn't get taken down, which was really impressive. But then
I will give
then
him
the
that.
inevitable happened.
Yeah, Jacare closed at plus money against Derek Brunson. Just think about that, man.
That was dumb to begin with.
That's crazy to me, man. Jacare is one of the 3 or 4 best, middleweights in the entire world. Still to this day, always has been. I mean, he got beat by, like I said it last week, he got beat by the best guy in the division. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing, no shame in that. I did not understand all the Brunson love. I mean, I got the angle that, Jacare's getting older, the chin, of course, all that. But, man, we know who Brunson is. We all knew what he was going to do. And then, he was hitting the edibles.
That Terminator walk that Jacare did over to him after he head kicked, just hands down. He's just like, man, this guy's going to get – he is fucking done. I just got to land a couple more.
Then even like when he had him down against the cage, Jacare, it was just kind of, he was just like standing over like some drunk dude, just like, motherfucker.
Is that enough? Is that enough?
Yeah, exactly. Are you done yet? Yeah, dude. That was a hell of a performance, man. Jacare, he's still right there, man. He could beat any one of those guys. I still think he could, man. He could absolutely beat any one of those guys. I think Whitaker's obviously a problem for him, of course. Whitaker's really, really good. But
if he ever fights again.
Yeah. Well, he's back to training. Yeah.
Oh, really? Oh,
yeah.
That's news.
You think they'll finally do the Jacare-Chris Weidman fight?
I think
Jacare
might hurt Weidman nowadays, man. It's a good fight, though.
It's an awesome fight. And people have kind of talked about that with the grappling, both of them being very good grapplers. They've talked about that fight for a long time, and it's never came about. So I think that's the time to do it with Yolo fighting Rockhold and Whitaker out with an injury. I mean, I don't know what other fight they do. 4.
Yeah, it's pretty much your top 4 right now, ain't it?
Yeah, the only other fight you can do was Jacare versus Gastelum, because there's nothing really else to do there.
Yeah, I think Gastelum is gonna get into some deep waters when he gets up there. That size with those guys,
with those size and skills.
The size will come into play when he hits those top 5 guys. Absolutely, I think that's where he's going to get into trouble. It seemed like Whitaker was down there and came back up, but it seemed like Whitaker he's bulked bigger. Up. Yeah, he got thick, and I just don't think
He's a fat.
He can't do it.
He's not a.
He can't put on that bulk. He can't put on that bulk like Whitaker did. He can't do it. No. Yeah, he's a pudgy motherfucker. He always gonna be.
Yep.
All right, that does it for Fox 27. Exciting stuff. Moving on, we're going to Brazil. First Brazilian event of the year, the home of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and Vale Tudo. Belém.
Capoeira, Jay. Don't forget the dancing.
Yeah, the dancing. Fight dancing. Kung Fu fighting. All right. 12-fight card. Shock of the century. It's starting off with the women's bout. Here we go. We got Joe Daddy's Bay. Maya Stevenson taking on 9-1.
Oh, you're so hip, Jay. You're so hip.
Hey, Jay's going to a fucking EDM concert or something here soon, ain't you?
Catching up on that lingo.
Are you gonna take a couple hits of that Molly Bond? Time, Jay.
I only do the prescription stuff.
There you go.
Pollyanna Viana taking on Maya Joe Daddy's Babe Stevenson. Let's go there. Wes, I know you got some thoughts on this one, so let's hear them.
Yeah, I just I saw a little tape of Viana, and yeah, man, she's a monster. But the more of this to me at this fight is Mrs. Joe Daddy, dude, it's just, I mean, she's not fucking good, dude.
You call her Mrs. Joe Daddy, dude?
Yeah, Mrs. Joe Daddy. Man, she's bad. She is not good at fighting.
Are you going to say she's...
Yeah, she is. Once I think she gets a fight in the UFC, Jay, she will have an F, maybe F minus. If you go through this, just go through the record. She's never beaten a fighter with a win, like one win. Yeah,
maybe,
never
win. Maybe.
So yeah, dude. And if you saw her on Tough Light, I mean, I think she's got like 3 kids, man. She's 35. She looks 45. Like, she looks like she's been raising 3 kids. Like, they're wearing her down, dude. This ain't going to be good. I think she's going to get finished. I actually parlayed Vienna with something else on the card, and I'm going to look at her by sub as well. Should be a decent number. I think inside the distance is plus 110. So I'll either play that or sub. I think she finishes fairly easy in this fight.
All right. Nushan.
Yeah, this I'm passing on the over just from you guys talking and me knowing how terrible Joe Daddy's wife is. So maybe look for Vienna inside the distance. That's all I got.
All right. I gotta wait a second.
Uh-oh.
Hi, friends.
Breaking in to talk about
Hello.
the season preview of lacrosse.
That's right. What else would we be talking
Maryland
about?
or John Hopkins, right? Maryland or John Hopkins.
No, man, Albany this year. Albany.
Oh, shit.
They
Yeah.
must have a lot of those indigenous players.
Wasn't Albany pretty good a couple years ago, bro? Didn't they win a
Albany was
just
good, yeah,
7
last
tribes?
year too.
7 tribes?
6
Where are they getting their players from? How many tribes?
6 nations.
Oh, 6
fucking,
nations. All right.
fucking John Redcorn running around the neighborhoods,
Jesus Christ.
producing all them great lacrosse players.
I love when I inspire in this show. I love it.
It's like a modern day
Fucking John Redcorn references.
Jay, keep an eye out for Tahoka Nanacoke this year. Freshman at Albany, he's going ham.
That's not a real name.
Yep, it is. Google it.
Do you say that again?
Tahoka Nanticoke.
Where'd you find him?
What?
What nation was he a part of?
On one of the reserves, obviously.
Oh.
Brian's been down there scouting.
Yep.
He's been down there drinking peyote, scouting the talent.
As soon as the snow clears, you just go to the reserves, and they're just standing out there with stick and ball, throwing it at a net. It's all they got. It's the only
Nothing
way
else
out.
to do, man.
It's the only way out.
Okay, gas prices are way too high to do anything else right now.
Wow. Wow.
So what did I miss? What are we talking about?
Joe Daddy's
We
chick.
talked about, we were talking about how Derek Brunson loves giving me memes to post on Twitter.
Oh, yeah, the best. The best. It used to be Sean Salmon that got knocked out in the most spectacular ways, but Derek Brunson
He's
has
taken
he's stolen that crown for sure.
I'm glad somebody's finally woken up or fallen asleep to take that crown. So, anyway, we were talking about how bad Joe Daddy's Faye is. She's terrible at fighting. I got her a D minus, which is I'm being generous.
That's creeping.
She'll be an
That's
F.
creeping.
She'll be an F.
I got Viana a C minus. She's got pretty damn good hands. I think this is going to be a stand-up exchange, mainly to start. Both can throw a bit, but if this fight goes to the ground at all, or any sort of, well, Viana's dangerous with subs, jiu-jitsu black belt. I think Joe Daddy's girl is dead meat. Then she can't defend anything on the ground. By Sajara Eubanks on the ground for 2 rounds, embarrassed. Got subbed by Kimura. Embarrassing. Viana wins. I think it's plus 110 inside the distance. Worth a bet, even in a women's fight where there's not that many finishes. So yeah. Next fight up, we got What do we have next? Joe Morales and Davison Figueiredo.
Those are people that fight.
Figueiredo. Isn't that a gold chain?
Should be.
The turnover chain?
This one should actually be a pretty decent bout. Wes, any thoughts here?
Not a lot on this one. I'm still kind of looking at this one, man. I'm going back and forth. This is a really, really close fight. My lean right now is Figueiredo, but I need to look at it a little bit more. Yeah, close fight. I'm still looking at it.
We got that one. New Sean, he's looking at it. What about you?
I don't even remember Morales' first fight. Supposedly he choked some dude out, but I don't remember
He did.
that.
He did.
I do remember Figueiredo's fights, so I'm going to pick Figueiredo because I remember him.
Hey, he beat some dude named Monkey something,
Brad,
right?
do you care at all?
I always love, I get behind the flyweights. This should be a good fight. Morales is, I actually think he's pretty legit on the ground, and I give him a little edge here. I think he's going to pull up the upset down in Brazil. Maybe not get himself a sub, but I think he can take it down and control a little bit, pass a little bit of guard. But if he can't get it to the ground, Figueiredo's better on the feet, so that would be trouble for him.
Yeah, Morales beat Roberto Sanchez, who came into the UFC with a good amount of hype as well. Subbed him in the first round. These guys are combined 22-0, which is pretty crazy. Neither of them are lost, so undefeated versus undefeated. Brad kind of said it right. I'd say Morales definitely advantage on the ground. The Brazilian advantage on the feet. It should be competitive, but I think once this goes to the ground, Morales could get a win there once he gets it there. I'll take him, but it's close or fairly close, and it's just not a fight I'd be looking to bet. Next fight on the card to the televised portion, we've got this guy must be 46 years old at this point, Yuri Alcantara. I think he's one of those you don't believe his real age kind of thing.
Got a little Cuban thing going on.
Cuban birth certificate for sure.
Joe Soto. Wes, what do you think of this one?
Yeah, if this fight wasn't in Brazil, I would be a whole lot more confident in Soto. But man, like Sean was saying earlier, you never know with Yuri, man. Sometimes he shows up and has a really good performance, but I mean he's lost 2 in a row. One of those in Brazil. Luke Sanders was absolutely smashing him, and then Luke Sanders did Luke Sanders things. So, yeah, I sprinkled a little bit on Soto. I just think Soto can bring a little pace here, and Yuri just doesn't do shit sometimes. So if Soto can keep up a good pace and not get caught in anything stupid, I think he can win a decision here.
New Sean.
I'm not really touching this fight. We've seen these smaller weight classes, guys, when they get up a little older, they can really just fall off a cliff, and I kind of think that's happening with Alcantara. He has some skills that we've seen in the past, but man, he has not looked good in his last 3 fights, and this could be more to come. I'm not putting any money on Joe Soto. We've kind of seen what can happen to him in fights. He does have skills, but that chin and some other issues, it's just a pass for me, but I will pick Joe Soto.
Bradley?
It seems like Soto's kind of worked past some of the durability issues that he used to have.
And then he gets calf-sliced in a minute.
Yeah, exactly. So it's weird. And, if there's a guy in a division that's going to calf-slicer you, it's probably going to be Yuri Alcantara. So there's definitely some possibility there, but I still think you got to side with Soto in this one. I know the line's super tight, but Soto's minus 120 right now.
Yep.
I think. Yeah, if he gets down to even money and that flips around a little bit, I might take a shot on Joe here. I still think that Alcantara is kind of living off that first couple minutes against Faber, and he's had a couple decent performances since then. But as Sean was saying, he really seems like he's fallen off a cliff lately, and he's up in that 35 range for a bantamweight, which is never a good time.
Joe Soto is like 30, which is insane.
He's been around forever.
Yeah, that is so insane. He's been around for like a decade, dude.
Remember when Joe Warren kneed his face off?
Yeah, it's been like forever. It's crazy.
I got Joe Soto a C-, Alcantara a D+. I actually rate Soto a little bit better. It's really because Alcantara's faded so much over the last year or so. Like I said, it seems like he's 44 years old. I think he's 36, but it seems like he's just, again, been around forever and just slowed down because he's relied so much on athleticism and size that it's starting to catch up to him. If this fight was anywhere, like I said, like Wes was saying, anywhere but Brazil, Soto would definitely be a bet. But you just never know if Alcantara is going to come up juiced or, if he decides he wants to cooperate and fight to his, true ability on this, for this event since it's in front of the Brazilians. It's just, you just never know what you get from the guy, and that's what makes it difficult to bet against him. Coming on up after that, really compelling fight, actually, between two guys that have kind of, started to develop and, intrigue in this division. Douglas Silva de Andrade, the Brazilian, versus Marlon Vera. Wes, first up.
Yeah, this is another really close fight. I'm still going back and forth like the other one and still looking at it a little bit. But man, yeah, Marlon Vera he's become a really tough out, man. Since losing to the man, the myth, the legend, Davey Grant, he's put on some pretty good performances, man. And then even going that 3 with Lineker was impressive in and of itself. So, but Andrade is no joke, man, and we know how good that apparently Rob Font is now. So that wasn't like a horrible loss last time out, but. I don't know. I'm kind of leaning Vera right now in this fight. The line's really tight, so Vera right now. But I'm still kind of going back and forth.
All right, Bradley.
We're just skipping Nushan on this one.
We can go to Nushan if we want to.
You don't need to. I think the same way that Wes does.
I know. Brad.
I don't think it's a coincidence that Cheeto got put on the card with Machida.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, that's what they're going for here.
2 Cheetos in a bag.
But, yeah, he's made a hell of a lot of improvements. I mean, it's kind of worrying that he was getting outstruck pretty handily by Brad Pickett for 2 rounds before landing a head kick and ruining that retirement fight for Pickett, but so I think he might struggle a bit against Andrade, who hopefully will press a bit forward more than he did against Rob Font. But as you said, we've found out that Rob Font is pretty damn good, so there's kind of a reason that didn't happen. And if you're not John Lineker, you're probably not just going to walk through that dude. So. Yeah, I'm just going to stay away from this fight because I can see the improvement in both guys, but I can also see where Andrade would be able to take a little bit of advantage of Vera and do the same sort of things that Pickett was able to do to him.
Yeah, that's fair. I got Andrade to C, Marlon Vera to C. This should be really competitive. I've liked what I've seen from De Andrade. I think he's fought better in Brazil as well. Vera kind of has to go, road game for this one. Definitely made improvements in recent bouts. Just not fully convinced of either guy dominating this bout. I see it being competitive and likely goes to the scorecard. So, considering how bad judges were last weekend, it's hard to trust them again this weekend. So, yeah. We got Alan Patrick up next, taking on something called Damir Hadzovic. We'll start with Wes. Can you tell me about Damir Hadzovic? Because I forgot.
Who? Who's that now?
The guy that was getting beat for 2 rounds by Marcin Held, and then all Held had to do was just not get annihilated, and that's exactly what happened.
There's
Held beat him. Oh, he beat Held. You're right.
He beat Held. He knocked him out. With
the needle oblivion. That's right.
Need him all the way to Bolivia.
There's a wing of those guys now. The Scoggins, fucking Luke Sanders, Bart Hill. Yeah, dude. Patrick should be able to fucking wall and stall and hump around for a decision here. Minus 230 is kind of stupid though, but Patrick is going to win this fight.
Humping around. Throwback.
All right, Bradley. Tell me about it.
Me?
Yeah.
Damn near Demir is he's got pretty decent takedown defense, pretty decent striker in the clinch, and we know that Alan Patrick can't finish a takedown to save his life, so I think this fight's going to spend a lot of time in the clinch, and again, judges could come into play because it's going to be boring and long, but I'm kind of hoping that Hadzovic gets enough done that he gets the decision, because Patrick is just awful to watch. He's like the lightweight. These guys are lightweights. Yeah, he's like the lightweight Francis Barbosa.
That's exactly what I was thinking about. It's exactly the same thing.
We got some mangy mongrels popping up.
Barroso should have been on this card in the co-main event.
Oh,
Jesus Christ! Put 7 women's fights and Barroso on this and finish this off.
Sean, give me some insight here for once.
I mean, I got nothing. Why does Patrick never fight? Like he had a decent win against Stevie Ray in 2016, September 2016.
Then it takes 2 years
and then
off.
takes a year and a half off, and then he fought once in 2014. Once in 2015, and then he fought twice in 2016, didn't fight in 2017. Like, this guy could just age overnight. I mean, he's another one of these guys that looks like he's 34 going on 45.
Yeah.
Ugly, too.
Yeah.
Motherfucker's making
It's because he's from Manaus.
He's making $5K a fight. He's got to farm yams.
Dude. Man, he's got an acai farm, all right, man.
There we go.
I want that frozen acai.
Canning that shit.
Frozen strawberries to go with it. Little jam.
I'll pick Hadzovic for hopefully get a greasy decision in a shitty fight.
Yeah. I got Patrick a C-, Hadzovic a C-. Kind of what Neutron said, this guy rarely fights. Hard to know what you're going to get from him. He's not really great. And he's kind of a head scratcher, but he's fighting in his home country again against kind of like a no-name who had that like kind of lucky win. You kind of think this is a fight. If he's going to win, he's going to win, right? Makes sense. He's probably going to win. So
Exactly.
I'll take Patrick, but there's no trust factor here. This is not worth betting.
That is some kind of logic, though. If he's going to win, he's going to win. I like it. That's going to be my new betting angle.
He's going to win. He's going to win big. Is my point.
100% of the time, when he wins, he wins.
100% of the time. When he wins, he wins 100% of the time.
All right. It's been a slice, boys, but I got to get out of here. Get back to work.
I don't blame you.
Enjoy the kickoff of the lacrosse season tomorrow, guys. I think it's like 1 p.m.
We got some bets.
What's Red Corn's son's name again?
Tahoka Nanticoke.
There it is, MVP.
He's the future.
Better be seeing some
And the
bets,
present.
Bradley.
What is the opening game tomorrow?
Furman in Vermont.
Post it up.
Where is it?
Yeah.
Oh, it's got to be at Furman.
Yeah, South Carolina.
I was going to say.
South Carolina, or are they Georgia? One of those.
I believe it's South.
I think it's South Carolina.
Yeah.
But yeah, if a line pops up, then I'll let you guys know.
Is that the only?
Is that
the only game for the next 3 weeks?
No, there's that one tomorrow, and then there's like 10 on Saturday, and then most of them are either indoor facilities or down in the like Carolinas, stuff like that.
Oh, they have indoor facilities for college lacrosse? Is that a
Shit,
thing?
yeah, man. Lacrosse is taking over.
That's some big money shit.
Yeah.
I thought they had the sports. I didn't know that.
If you wear khakis and a polo, you're playing some fucking lacrosse.
Yeah, that is.
You know what the median family income is for a lacrosse playing family, Jay?
Oh, I don't.
It's like $300K.
I was gonna say $500,000.
Brad, that's why we got you here.
That's right.
You answer all the hard-hitting questions.
I am pumped for the 3.5 months of the greatest sporting season known to man.
I usually watch the championship game, but I'll go on the money ride with you again this year.
You know it.
Sounds good. Have a good one, guys.
Brad, just hear our theory in lacrosse. Just bet on the team with the better centerman.
Kinda.
What is that position called?
The Fogo, face off, get off.
Yeah, that guy.
Ooh, that sounds freaky.
Yeah, let's get freaky.
Yeah.
Face off, get off. Damn.
Yeah, that's what you got to do when it's sticks and balls, man.
Uh-huh. All right, see you, Brad.
All right,
Have a good one, guys.
Later, bro.
All right, Fight Pass main event. Or not Fight Pass, preliminary card, FS1 main event. I still don't know why they do prelim and main card when it's on the same damn channel. To me, that just makes zero sense. Sergio Moraes against the Dirty Bird. I know a West favorite, Timmy Means. Wes, are you going to be betting on your boy Means?
No, I'm not going to be betting on him.
Wow.
I'm still debating on maybe a fade on him. Actually,
wow.
I mean, I think he's the better guy here, obviously, but I don't know, man. He's starting to get real inconsistent too. You don't. I don't know. Maybe not just starting. He's been like that for a few years now. You don't know what you're going to get out of Tim Bean sometimes, and man, we know what we'll get out of Moraes down there in Brazil. He'll bring it. He's not going to be across. Yeah, he's not going to be across the cage from a dude with a 12-inch cock this time. So, if Moraes gets if he gets up closer to 2-1 or goes over that, then I'll sprinkle on Moraes and fade Means. Like I said, I think Means is the better fighter here, but there's just there's circumstances where I could absolutely see Moraes winning this fight down there in Brazil. So 2-1 it'll be worth a shot, in my opinion.
Nushan.
This fight just screams pass. Moraes got his claw clean against Kamaru Usman.
Yeah, he did.
He didn't look great in the. I mean, he looked okay against Ramos. That was a late notice, kind of just nothing fight. But Zach Otto and Chagas, he didn't look great in. So he's 35 years old. He could be another guy that's going to fall off a cliff after getting knocked out like he did. But like Wes said, Tim Means is getting inconsistent and very inconsistent. He's fighting good guys. I mean, he did lose to Bilal Muhammad and Cowboy, but I don't like him enough to play it at minus 220. It's just a pass, but I'll pick him to win.
That means at like minus 200 and something against, just these other guys. It's been a trap lately. Yeah. Like means at that like minus 2-1. It's been trappy lately. It's hard to trust him right now.
Yeah, I agree with both these guys. I don't want to belabor the point. I got Means to C, Moraes to C minus. Great, just like Means overall body of work a little better, but a bit of a tricky fight here. Means been a little more inconsistent of late, but he's got size on Moraes, strikes better, decent enough to keep this on the feet, but it's just hard to trust. And Moraes really is lethal if he gets it to the mat. So, and if this fight was outside of Brazil, again, maybe in the States, huge advantage. I would say not huge, but a sizable advantage to Means, and maybe worth betting at that point. But down here, pass. First fight up on the main card, we got Thiago Santos, ranked Thiago Santos, taking on Tony Smith. Wes?
Ladies love cool Tony Smith.
Hell yeah.
I don't really think much of Tony Smith at all, man. He one thing I will give him is he's tough as shit, and he's outlasted some guys in the UFC. He just takes a beating, lets them wear themselves out, and finishes. Which, I mean, that's a part of fighting, absolutely. But man, I just don't see how Santos ain't gonna get him with something in the first round and a half. I mean, now if Smith can get through what's coming at him for a round and a half, his chances go way up. I'm not disputing that. They absolutely will, but I just don't see how he can last that long. I just don't think the guy's that skilled, man. He's so slow-footed. Everything he throws is just it's so slow compared to what's going to be coming at him. So I did snipe the opening line, the minus 150.
Fraud.
Really
bullshit.
Really small, yeah.
Fraud.
No, I'm not going to post a ticket. You little fucking YouTube fucking cuck motherfuckers can go fuck yourselves. Look, let me say something. Why the fuck are y'all so worried? And this ain't even me. Wasn't nobody say nothing to me. I don't post my bets anymore. But, I mean, they're going after some dude that posted to you. And, like, look, here's the thing that happened with that. It's like Best Fight Odds, their tracking system only updates like every 30 minutes or something like that.
15 minutes, something like that.
So yeah, so when Dimes releases Nick's lines, Best Fight Odds ain't hitting that shit for like 10 or 15 minutes. So they're gonna have wild swings in those lines before they get posted on Best Fight Odds. So like, stop going after something. Quit worrying about people, man. Like, y'all seriously worry about everybody. Worry about yourself
and your $10 units.
Yeah, and like y'all ain't betting no real
right now. It's just the most philosophical this show has ever been.
Seriously, like they ain't betting nothing anyway. Like we know inside shit on half you motherfuckers. Y'all ain't betting the money y'all say y'all betting. Y'all got just it's ridiculous. Let people do their damn thing. I like Santos here. I hit the minus 150.
Wow. Neutral, it's going to be hard to pass.
Yeah.
You're up. Good luck.
I definitely would have hit Santos at minus 150. I didn't. I was busy betting other things at the openers. I did sprinkle on Smith at plus 220. I think the line's a little bit wide now. Wes is right. Santos does hit like an absolute truck. And Smith, I mean, he hasn't looked great against Lombard, but he definitely is tough. I mean, he hasn't been KO'd in like 6 years. He can take a hell of a punch, and I'm kind of hoping that he doesn't get hit by anything too flush and Santos gasses out. It was a tiny play. I just put half a unit on it, but I think it's just a little bit too wide for a guy in Santos that's a little bit flawed as a fighter. But
there's a path. That's a good path. Too.
But
yep.
I don't know.
It's a dangerous one.
A very scary fighter.
Yeah, I'll take Santos C+, Smith C-. I like Santos to win this fight. It's just going to be too strong, I think, against Anthony Smith, who, has kind of had his most success in the UFC because of other dudes getting tired. And Smith just kind of, not that he's got like a great work rate, but he just, he doesn't stop in full tracks. So when you face guys who are totally dead, you can win. But Santos certainly lethal, hits hard, body shots too, not just to the head. Fighting again in Brazil, this will help as well. I like Santos to get the win here. Could win decision, could win by knockout. Doesn't really matter, but he really should get the win.
Santos has gotten good at pacing himself too.
Certainly a lot better.
Yeah.
I mean, remember when he ran through Elias? I mean, that was pretty memorable. It wasn't that long ago. So Anthony Smith's nowhere in that class. I mean, he's got good size, but I'd be surprised if Thiago Santos loses this bout. Guys, we got one of our favorites coming up here. We got Marcelo Gom, not really a favorite, versus friend of the MMA Analysis, Timmy Big Dick.
Yeah.
Massive.
The dick.
All right.
The big dicked one.
Wesley.
Yeah.
Tell us about the big dick.
It's right there with
huge.
With the record of largest on a Caucasian male.
There is always going to be the asterisk there.
Yeah. Yeah.
It kind of has to be.
Look, you can't like start saying
There's
records.
There's levels.
And then put Timmy Johnson and Hagano in the same sentence. You know, there's levels to this shit. I'm kind of leaning Big Dick in this spot, man. At plus money against fucking Marcelo Gome, like really? I don't know. I haven't pulled the trigger yet. I think this is a close fight. Gome is terrible, dude. I don't think Timmy Johnson is like great or anything. He's lost, but he's lost to guys better than who Gome is fighting, who I think Gome is. I'm kind of leaning Timmy here. I'll probably pull the trigger on the plus money. I also like the over 1.5. The fatty's going to fatty in this one. I think I got it like minus 120 or something like that. I could see Timmy Johnson by decision. That might be something to look at. It would probably be a pretty decent price. I would believe so. Yeah, Big Dick by decision.
All right, Nushan.
5 of Gome's fights have not gone longer than 2 minutes and 8 seconds, and the other fight only went 4 minutes and 33 seconds.
Come on, dude. You're starting to talk me out of my own.
Oh, no, I think that Timmy Big Dick is going to be able to take it, and this guy is going to gas. I'm looking at Timmy Big Dick by decision at like plus 415. I think that's worth a sprinkle, and I'm going to play the over 1.5 small as well.
There we go. I feel better now.
I think this is just a hyped up big Brazilian who's going to come out swinging, and hopefully Timmy Big Dick doesn't get hit by it, and he's going to gas, and it's going to be a sloppy, ugly fight after that. And I know he got dropped by Albini there, the diaper wearing one, but hopefully he can. It's been a little bit of time since then. That was July, so he's had a good rest. Hopefully he can come back and not get clipped, and he'll be able to take over after the first round.
I got Marcelo Gome at D, Timmy Johnson at D+. Obviously we started a lot more from Timmy Big Dick. His last fight wasn't really his best indictment, so you got to have a little bit of buyer beware. But I think he's got just more in the toolbox than Gome does. I'm a little worried about Gome's speed, and I think that could be a real issue. So that's why I'd recommend waiting around. Depending on how Timmy Big Dick does, if this fight's still going on, I think the longer this goes, it favors Timmy Johnson, who's kind of made a career in the UFC of kind of grinding out fights at heavyweight, using his size, pushing guys against the cage, fighting pretty smart, getting results. So I'll take Timmy Johnson to win, but the best betting scenario, or the safest betting scenario rather, would be to wait the round and then look for Timmy Big Dick live after round 1. Moving on up, we got 4 fights left on the card. We got Des Green, former Bellator, former Titan, former everything, current UFC, taking on maybe the most underrated guy in the lightweight division in terms of his winning streak, which now sits at 5 in a row, and 7 out of 8. The dude, Mikel Prazeres. Wes, what do you think about this one?
Yeah, I think it's a close fight, and you're right, man. Prazeres is he's been about as consistent as you can get. Even though I don't think his level of competition has been all that great. Maybe outside of Gilbert Burns, which is
that's not. He did beat Maribek Taisumov.
Yeah. We're talking like 4 years ago, but yeah.
Well,
I mean, I'm just saying of late, but yeah, dude's consistent. He's had some really good wins. But he's getting up there in age. He's 36. I think when you're looking at speed and athlete in this fight, I don't think there's an argument there that Dez is going to have a sizable speed advantage, a sizable athletic advantage. And I almost see this fight turn into a kickboxing match almost. Prazeres has got unbelievable takedown defense. Dez, great wrestler, but I think this stays on the feet. I think Dez is just going to be the faster, sharper guy. Can do just a little bit more. Almost see this being a kind of a boring fight. I'm banking on Dez pulling out a decision here. I think it's really close. It could absolutely go to Pereira down in Brazil, but at plus money here, I'm going to take a shot on Dez Green. I think I got plus 135. I think it's close, but I like Dez here. I think Dez is starting to come into his own. He's a pretty good fighter now, and I just think Pereira is getting old. His age is going to show in this fight.
New Sean, what do you got here?
I'm on the other side as Wes. I grabbed Prazeres for 1 unit, just 1 unit at minus 140.
That's what he's at now.
Yeah. I didn't get any crazy line value or anything, but...
Are you sure? I thought you were the master of the line jump. Am I thinking of somebody else?
I mean, I did get it before when it dropped there, but now solely money's been coming in, so now he's...
But are you jumping to the next line?
I mean, I did...
Not if he doesn't get the DM. He's got to get the DM first.
That's true. But Prazeres impressed me in his last 2 fights, especially against Bergman, being able to finish him in the first round. Like Wes said, his competition isn't great. An okay win against Gilbert Burns, but we don't really know what Gilbert Burns is as a MMA fighter. But I just think in Brazil, it might be a close fight, but I kind of give the edge to him. It might be a boring fight, and I think Prazeres is just going to be a little bit better than Des Green.
Okay. Fair enough. I got Green a C, Prazeres C+. West makes up there in age. Certainly, you have to take that into consideration as he's definitely heading towards the end of his career, but he hasn't shown signs of slowing up just yet. And I think he's got a strength advantage over Des Green, and I'd even argue he's got a striking advantage. Certainly hits harder. Maybe he's not maybe his work rate isn't as high on the strikes, or maybe it is even fairly close, but he's stronger and he hits harder. And I'll take that in this bout. Until Prazeres actually slows down, kind of hard for me to bet on the fact that he's going to, because he's been so consistent over these last few years. So I'll take Prazeres to win. The line is starting to get really tempting. If it goes down another 15 cents to minus 125, I think we're going to have to bet it. So you're basically getting almost a pick 'em on like a guy I feel that's better. So at minus 140, it's on the fence. No bets for me just yet. 3 more fights left. We got our girl Valentina Shevchenko making her women's debut against
debut?
Her flyweight.
Was she knocking out looking dude?
Flyweight debut.
She get a cut off?
Her flyweight debut. Flyweight debut against something called Priscilla. Yeah. Cachoeira. We'll call it that. Wes, have you seen anything of this Priscilla girl? Is this the biggest mismatch of the year?
I caught a highlight video that somebody posted on Twitter like yesterday or something, and this fight isn't close. Shevchenko is going to maul this girl. Shevchenko might even get a finish here, which is pretty crazy in a women's flyweight bout. But girl's not good. This is an easy win for Shevchenko, maybe even inside the distance.
New Sean, tell me you're betting the over here.
I am definitely going contrarian here.
Wow! No, you're not. You're not allowed to.
No, I'm going contrarian for everybody else. They think that Shevchenko's going to smash her, and I think she's going to
really pulled the fast one on us.
I think she's going to smash her, but I still think it's going to go to the decision. I bet the over 2.5 at plus money. That's almost an auto bet for me for women's fights.
Really?
I mean, even the only people that she's finished is Juliana Pena by armbar. She hasn't knocked anybody out. I mean, she is dropping in weight. Is that going to make her more tired? I mean, she's not really dropping because she walks around at 135 basically. But I know nothing of her opponent, but I'm just auto betting at plus money over 2.5. I was also looking not Shevchenko inside the distance is also, it's like plus 120. So I would look that as well. But the pick is definitely going to be Shevchenko. She's going to win, but I don't think she's going to finish.
Yeah. She did get, feels like she got robbed out of a title, so maybe she goes out for murder.
Nah.
Yeah.
I hear you. Over 2.5 and plus money. It doesn't matter what the names say. It's they're like, take my money.
I have not finalized my grade on Cachoeira just yet. I got Valentina Shevchenko on her flyweight debut in A+. She walks into this weight class levels above the champion, and is the clear number one fighter on the UFC roster, currently assigned to this flyweight division. This is the fight that they give her. She gets a win. Should be by finish. Sorry, New Sean, because
we'll see.
Because the idea is that she comes in and then does that and then goes into the title fight and then, good luck. What's Nico Montano? Good luck. Good luck. Yes. But they want her to go in so they can have like something highlight reel worthy to put on those things so they could help promote it.
The UFC doesn't get what it wants a lot of the time, so I'm not too worried.
I would be a little worried here. All right. Anyway, moving on. We got maybe the most interesting bout on the entire fight card. Bantamweight top 15 clash. John Dodson and Mr. Neck. Mr. Neck, he's becoming like the second coming of Brian Ortega, and at this point, Pedro Munoz. Wes, we'll start with you.
Yeah. This is probably the best fight on the card. Honestly, I'm a little puzzled by the line here, man. I figured Dodson would. I don't know. I guess the opener was probably a little closer to right. I was figuring a little money would come in though on Dodson. It'd be about 2-1. Just how I see his fight is, man, Munoz gets hit by a lot of guys. I mean, guys that's far less skilled than Dodson. That's far less has far less speed and hand speed than Dodson. I think he's gonna piece Munoz up like a lot of other guys do, and I just think the difference here is going to be Dodson doesn't get submitted. I mean, I don't think Munoz is going to be able to snatch something and pull himself out of a wide decision loss here. So I like Dodson here quite a bit. I bet Dodson. I believe I got minus 140 or something like that when it went down a little bit, but. This is one of my bigger bets on the card. I really like Dodson here. Dodson by decision. I think he gets it done. I just think he's at a little bit higher level than Munoz at this point.
New Sean, do you agree?
Yes, and I line jumped the fuck out of this fight. I got minus 130, and it was only there for like a couple of minutes.
Nice.
I think the speed difference is going to be big in this fight. That's usually the case in John Dodson fights. Pedro Munoz, I think his only way to win is to snatch his neck, and I just don't see that happening to Dodson. Dodson's a pretty intelligent fighter, and he's just so fast. I just don't think he's going to be there to get his neck grabbed. I also played the over 2.5 at minus 215. I think this goes over relatively easy. Dodson, he is up in 135. The only guy he's knocked out is Manny Gamburian. He really hasn't knocked out anybody in this weight division, and Pedro Munoz doesn't really get finished either. So I think this is going to sail over, and I think Dodson's going to win a wide decision. That number where it is, it should be closer to 2-1. I don't get this line.
This is going to be one of those ones where after the fight we're going to be like, God damn, John Dodson was minus 130 against Pedro Munoz.
Yeah.
Like people can barely put a glove on Dodson. How do you expect Pedro Munoz to get an entire arm around his neck? It ain't going to happen.
Yeah, exactly. It's hard to imagine. I got my grades are Dodson A-, Pedro Munoz B-. Dodson's proven that he can contend with the best fighters in this weight class. Went toe-to-toe with John Lineker. Was never really in danger of being knocked out. So I'm not worried about Munoz on the feet. I mean, the way Munoz has been winning is by these kind of like crazy subs. Has Dodson ever been subbed, Nushan? Once?
I thought he's been subbed twice, but they were really, really, really long time ago.
So it's basically been forever ago.
Oh,
he's been
he
subbed.
actually has 0. I was thinking of somebody else. He's been to he's lost 9 times, all by decision.
Yeah, so he's never been subbed.
Never been finished.
Never been finished. Facing off a guy who's not anywhere near the striker that Dodson is. Doesn't hit anywhere as near as hard. Doesn't move as well. And he's an okay striker, but he's really reliant on the sub game. He's like Brian Ortega in that regard, where he is pretty opportunistic, kind of subs he can do, and if he can get them, he gets them. But again, never a guy who's never been subbed, never been finished, superior striker. At this price, have to like Dobson, have to bet him. So I like John Dodson. I think he's one of my favorite plays on the card. He's currently lined at -150, and he is our 5dimes.eu consensus bet of the week. Looking to continue that winning streak into February. We have John Dodson. Again, it is John Dodson, money line -150. Main event time. Oof. We got Lyoto Machida returning to the octagon after what?
3 months.
10 weeks?
3 months.
12 weeks? Taking on
They're getting starched.
The dude that people are saying is a fraud now.
Mm-hmm.
Saying he's a fraud. He's a fraud. He's like Sage Northcutt. He's a fraud. He's like CM Punk. He's a fraud. Eric Anders. I'll start with Wes. How much of a fraud is Eric Anders?
God, I hate these fucking people. It's the same with Hagano and everything else. There never has been. And this dude
the guy lost. Now he's a nothing. It's
but this dude won. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
They all lost their inside the distance bet. So he's a fraud. This fight to me, look, Anders still has some holes in his game. I mean, it's obvious. I mean, the guy just started fighting, but I mean, you can see the talent just dripping off this dude, man. And look, to me, this is Bisping Gastelum all written over. Machida just got completely starched. Just a couple months ago. I think Anders does the same. I mean, a stiff wind is going to knock out Machida now. Machida his whole game was all reactionary, just speed, and that's all gone now. I mean, the dude's he's getting over the hill. He's pretty much 40, coming off a devastating knockout. I don't see, and the line kind of surprises me, honestly, even still where it's at. I hammered the opener, had a couple open parlays, one with Khabib and one with DC points. That I closed both of those with Anders. I believe it was 240 or 230, something like that. So I love him in this fight. I don't see any way how you could like Machida in this fight. Maybe I'm what the fuck do I know, but I don't know how you could have any money on Machida in this fight.
Nushan, thoughts on this one?
It's max bet season, boys.
Oh,
woo!
I maxed the opener at -230. I think this is just way too soon for Machida. And I see a lot of people trying to convince themselves to bet Machida here. Them saying this is more like Edgar versus Yair than Gastelum versus Bisping. And I just don't think that's the case. Machida, like Wes said, he just got knocked out 3 months ago. Absolutely smashed. Before that, he got absolutely annihilated by Romero. Before that, he got annihilated by Rockhold. I'm a Machida fan from a long time back, but this is not it's kind of over for him. His chin is so gone. And then people are saying that, this main event's going to be, Eric Anders going to get jitters. This dude played in the national
national title
in front of what, like 70,000 people probably.
Yeah.
I don't think the nerves are going to, I mean, granted, fighting and playing football is different, but I think this guy is a big game fighter, and he is going to smash Machida. Like Wes says, he does have some holes, but Machida is he's so done. And Anders is also a southpaw, and Machida's had some problems. Obviously, elite southpaws, the last 3 guys he's fought. But this is going to be, I think, another one of those things where we say the UFC just pushed Machida because they needed somebody to headline a card in Brazil, and he's going to get smashed. It's not going to be.
Considering he doesn't even want to fight.
No,
they're absolutely using him for a name for Anders here. It's written all over the place.
It might not even be a name for Anders. It's literally just a name to get people to come to the card in Brazil, and Anders is the one that's going to
benefit from it. Yeah. I think it's both. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, this is dangerous. I got Anders a C+, Machida a C. This is, Machida is obviously falling on hard times. He's a fighter that probably relies on speed and movement more than just about any fighter in the sport. And now that he's close to 40, it's starting to go, and now he gets caught, he gets hurt, and he's just not. Anders really should win this fight. He's got the ability to hurt Machida for sure. And the punches that he landed in his last bout are going to put away Machida pretty convincingly. That's just kind of the way I see it. It's going to be hard for Machida to kind of survive any of that. I think that's definitely the most likely result in this bout. Anders isn't like the 400 range though. Machida is certainly capable. Technical ability is certainly really, really good, especially offensively. He has gifts, and would it be a complete shock if he kind of turned back the clock, or was on a little something again, and kind of got like an awesome W? I'd say yeah, but I just don't like the negativity at all about, the story's kind of coming out how he didn't want to really be on this card. He wasn't ready yet. That's just a lot of red flags.
Yep.
And more than anything, I think you can't bet on Machida because of that. Even at, what you feel is kind of like, I'll take a shot on a guy who could certainly win as a plus 300 or so underdog, against a guy who's still rather unproven. Dangerous to do that. Really never want to bet on a guy who says he doesn't want to fight. That's bad. And you will lose long term doing so. So I'll take the Anders by TKO, and we'll move on from this fight and this fight card. That just about does it for the show this week. Hopefully we continue our winning streak. Got one of my favorite fights of first quarter coming up the week after that. Luke Cockhold taking on
YOLO,
taking on my boy.
It's a hard one for me to choose a side there, man. I like both those guys. There's about 25 inches of meat swinging around in that fight.
Yeah, I'm not sure who's got 20 and who's got 5 of it. Might be more like 35 inches.
3 weeks, I'll be down there in the redneck state of Texas. I'll fit right in for that fight card.
People are shitting on that pay-per-view, but there's a lot of friends of the MMA analysis on that fight. You got Cockhold and YOLO, you got Titty Blades, and you got Jangalang, you got
Jangalang.
I Love My Bitches, Ishihara,
Oh yeah, forgot about him. And a sneaky good fight on the prelim card. Juicy Formiga taking on Ben Wynn.
Yep.
We got Alex Volkanovski against Jeremy Kennedy. Both those guys are pretty solid.
I like me some Volkanovski, man. That dude's a fucking...
Both those guys are good, though.
Yeah, it's a fight.
Ross Pearson's on the preliminary. I thought Ross Pearson left the UFC. I didn't realize he's still there.
He's That's a job for life, man. Hell, they marrying green card girls and shit.
Yeah.
He's UFC family for life, dude.
Got tied to Avasa on that card too.
Yeah,
UFC's
he's going to kill Baby Dick.
There's worse cards, I have to say. I bet you that pay-per-view will get shit on by people saying it sucks, and then it'll be entertaining as all hell.
The price guide, man, I already shit on it. It's just like weeks out. They're already shitting on it.
Yeah, they hate it. I understand. It doesn't have the name value, maybe.
But it's going to be fun as fuck, I think.
Yeah, it has the capability. I mean, I'm not sure how fun Jingalang and Jake Matthews can be, but...
Jingalang was always in fun fights, Jay. Come on.
But Matt sucks at being good fights.
Yeah, he's going to knock him out.
China Goat.
China Goat's going to knock out Bieber.
Shit, even Damian Brown and fucking Dong should be fun.
That'll be great.
Yeah.
It's gonna be fun.
Oh, and that fucking kickboxing dude is making his debut.
Israel dude is?
Safarov?
The Israel guy, the Skybender dude.
Where is he?
Yeah.
He's fighting Rob Wilkinson.
Born in Nigeria, danger zone. You know what that?
Adesanya. Oh shit!
One of the greatest nicknames in MMA, the Style Bender.
Yeah, that'll be.
He's one of the fucking his kick dude. Watch some of his kickboxing matches, dude. He is fucking wild, dude.
50-5 in kickboxing.
Yeah, he's wild, dude. He's fun to watch.
He's got his last 3 losses are to Alex Pereira, 2 of them, and then Jason Wilness. I mean, those are like literally like top of the food chain.
Oh, he is. He is top of the food chain. He's a fucking one of the few 2 or 3
Simon
top
Marcus
ranked guys.
One of the other losses. Another really high level.
Yeah, that guy's legit, man. He's going to be fun. Hopefully it looks like they gave him a guy too that's gonna throw down. Yeah, gonna throw down what he ain't gonna take him down.
Yeah, I mean, kind of have to. Rob Wilkinson, eh?
He's undefeated.
No, he's got 1 loss. Wilkinson.
Oh, maybe I'm thinking of different.
He lost to He got KO'd by Sire.
Oh right, that was the last time out. He got knocked out by Harzada.
Totally forget. I'm totally blanking on that fight. To be honest with you.
What do y'all think this Formiga Ben Win line opens up at?
Formiga will be favored.
You think so?
Yeah, I would think so.
That'll be interesting.
I'm looking at my grades. Hold on.
I kind of like Formiga in that fight.
Formiga could be like minus 170, 175.
Ooh, I wouldn't pay no juice like that, but I kind of like
maybe a little lower. Maybe 160. I could see minus 160 plus 140.
Yeah. If I get plus money on Ben Win, I might be betting him.
Yeah, I mean,
plus money.
It's a close fight.
You're going to get plus money. Oh, it is in Australia though. That was interesting.
Kennedy and Volk, yeah, that's a good fight right there, dude.
There's lots of good fights. It's going to be fun fights. That's what it's going to be.
Curtis is going to be in deep against Mark Hunt. I mean,
you never know. He could Brock Lesnar him.
He could, but it's going to be
scary the whole time.
Yeah, that's the problem. You got boy. Oh, boy.
Yep.
Yeah, Blades better push that fat motherfucker right into the cage and shit, dude. Like, straight up. Yeah.
Baby Dong. Oh, yeah.
That's shitty Dong, not good Dong.
Baby Dong.
Shitty Dong.
Yeah, he's wild, though. That motherfucker's wild.
Yep.
That's wild. That's a
fun card.
That's a wild fight.
Right now, you couldn't like absolutely say 100% what fight of the night's going to be on there.
No, there's like 6 or 7 that could be.
Yeah.
If I had to guess, I would say Damian Brown and Little Dong. That's going to be fucking chaos.
It's going to be nuts, man. It's going to be nuts. For me,
it ain't going to be high level technique, but this. Yeah, maybe it could be a grapple. It could be just kind of grappling focused. I mean, Pearson and Hirota has potential to be really boring.
Matthews and
Ishihara and Quinones, it could be okay, but we know what Ishihara is not good at, though.
Yeah, that's a problem.
Yeah, don't remember Daiichi Abe at all. I'd have to relook him up. Kennedy and Volkanovski is not going to be entertaining. I don't think.
Yeah, unless there's a lot of good scrambles and reverses and shit.
Safarov and Pedro. I mean, that could be fun.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a pretty fun card.
Tsubasa and Asker would be fun.
Baby Dick's gonna die.
Yes, it's gonna be fun. I'm okay with it. This is gonna be fun. Yeah. You know what? I didn't really think about this fight card at all, but I kind of like what I say.
Yeah.
All right. I'm looking forward to talking about that one next week, and we'll see you guys then. Enjoy the fights.